Alright, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Minecraft. Now, today we're going to be basically going over Redstone, and specifically the basics to Redstone, transmission. At least for this tutorial, we're going to be going over how Redstone can go from an input to an output. These are the blocks that we're going to first be talking about. The Redstone lamp is an output. It turns on and off, depending on if there's an input going into it. The Redstone Dust is the line that can actually go from an input to an output. And we have two different types of input methods as well, the redstone block and the lever. The redstone block being a permanent power source, and the lever you can turn on and off to turn the dust on and off, and therefore an output, the redstone lamp, on and off. So I'm going to first show you this area over here that I've got set up. This is redstone dust just by itself, without any power. You can see it's just like very dark. You can't really see anything going on, but when you put a redstone block next to it, you will see here that it actually turns it on. This means the redstone is powered. Now if you put a lamp to the end of it, you'll see that the lamp also gets powered. If you don't have the redstone block there, it's not powered, and so it will not power the redstone lamp at the end. So you need an input right here, as well as the transmission, so the redstone dust, and an output to make a full circuit. Now, as you see right here as well, you can have the redstone dust go in a circle, as you see right here. Now, an important thing that we're going to see soon is that redstone dust loses power the further it is away from the source. So these two ones right here are the same, but this one and this code over here is the furthest away from the source, so it actually has less power. But I'll go into more of that later. Now also I want to show you guys that redstone dust goes up 1 blocks. It does not go up 2 blocks high, only 1 block, but it does go up blocks. Now as you see here, we are showing the mechanics of how far redstone dust can travel. It can travel 15 blocks, as you can see by the indicated redstone lamps, and the 16th block will not be powered. You can also see by the look of the actual redstone, the ones closer to the actual source are brighter, but the ones further away are a little bit darker. So just remember that 15 blocks is how much you have with redstone dust. Now we're going to bring in 3 new mechanics now. The redstone repeater, the redstone comparator, and the redstone torch. So the redstone repeater is essentially an extender. So that problem that we were just facing right there, where the redstone only goes 15 blocks, you actually extend it to another 15 blocks by using the repeater. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys right now over here. So you can see we have this massive line right here from this redstone block on this side all the way over to this side over here where there's a redstone lamp. Now this is a total of I think 47 blocks distance, and of course the redstone will not go that far, but if we break this redstone at the end of this 15 block distance and put a redstone repeater, as I was saying before, it extends that signal another 15 meters or 15 blocks. So then if we put another repeater at the end of this signal, it'll extend it again, and as you can see at the end, it will now power the redstone lamp. So I'd also like to highlight this as well as a unique mechanic with the redstone repeater, is that it actually goes right straight through redstone dust. So if you see right here, if I have 2 redstone dust either side of it, it won't actually connect to these lamps, whereas if that was obviously redstone dust, it would. Now I would like to show you the unique mechanics that the redstone repeater can also do regarding going through blocks and activating blocks. So as you can see with this redstone right here, it's actually powering this block, but there's no signal going through. Now the redstone repeater is powering the block in the center, but the signal is going through. And that's simply because it's powering the block more than the redstone. And we can see that right here is that the redstone that we see on the left is actually powering the block, and the redstone repeater is taking that power from the block. And so the simplest way to explain it is that redstone dust powers blocks, but it's not powerful enough to go through blocks. Redstone repeaters power blocks, but it is powerful enough to go through blocks. And so repeaters can actually take the power from a bit of redstone that goes into a block, and take it out from it. Now uniquely as well, certain blocks like glass, these are transparent and they don't actually hold any redstone charge, and so you can't put it through and you can't take any redstone output from it either. So to simply demonstrate this, as you see with this one right here, we are powering the redstone lamp as well as activating the redstone lamp, to which the redstone repeater is continuing that signal on. Then for this block right here, it's getting powered, and the redstone lamp after it is getting activated. But as you can see, the redstone lamp is not getting powered as well as the redstone output is not there. And so when you run a redstone line into a block, you can only power that one block. But that one block can then interact with other output devices such as redstone lamps. But then output devices, as you tell by the redstone lamps, cannot release an output, which is why the redstone repeater isn't outputting any signal at the end. Now, if you guys remember off before, I said that redstone repeaters are not affected by lines of redstone next to it. And so they can essentially be ran right next to each other, as I'm going to show you right here. So we're going to flick the first one, but what you're going to notice is the two redstone lamps at the end get powered. Now why that is because we're directly powering that lamp, and it's actually affecting the two ones next to it as well. So what we can do instead is we can put blocks in front of them, which essentially powers that block, which only affects the lamp behind it. And some mechanics do work like this. I believe also dispensers work like this as well. Not everything though, as I believe doors will only be powered straight on. But if you are having multiple things power off just one line of redstone, that's why. Now, as you see with redstone, if we just replace all the repeaters with redstone, you can see that they're not actually connecting to the lamps. So what we need to do instead is obviously run individual lines, as you see by these two lines right here. Now, the problem with this, though, is that we can't actually have them side by side as with the repeaters. But the benefit of using redstone is that it's instantaneous. There's no delay as with redstone repeaters. Now I'm going to show you this one right here. So we're going to extend this up by a block, as you see by this one over here. All the repeaters are 1 block high, but this one is 2 blocks high. So what we're going to do is with this line right here, we're going to activate it once again. We forgot to put the block there, so it's going to activate 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as I show you right here, there's a block here for this one. We're going to activate it. It's only going to activate 1. We're going to replace this one on this side. This one will activate it. So we have 2 lit up, and the top one is lit up as well. So we have the blocks beside this redstone line here to basically cut off the lines on the other sides so that they're not affecting the line of the middle one. Now, of course, the negative side of this is that it's 2 blocks high. So you're going to actually, yes, you can obviously have this recurring, obviously, as long as you do block off the different lines from one another and make sure that they're not actually connecting. But it's 2 blocks high, so you're using more space. Whereas obviously with the redstone repeaters, you're just using 1 block and they can all be right next to each other, nice and flush. And as you can see by these two specifically, they can be individually powered as long as you have a block in front of it. But of course, they have a delay, and these are the delays right here that I'm going to go over. So if you have a redstone repeater that has not been tampered with, it'll be a delay of only 0.1 seconds. If you have a redstone repeater and you activate it once, it'll be 0.2. 0.3 for activate it twice, and 0.4 for activate it 3 times. As you can see, there's a small delay between each and every one of them, but the delay adds up over time the more repeaters you actually have. And what you can do with this delay is you can actually have a redstone clock. As you see with this right here. Now I'm going to show you how to activate this, because you do actually need to activate it in a pretty unique way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lever, or you can even use a redstone block, as I do as well. And what you want to do is you want to set up this contraption with the repeaters on 4 ticks and just place a block and destroy it very quickly. And as you can see, this repeater circuit will go indefinitely. Now we also have a pretty cool mechanic as well with the redstone repeater, and that's called a locking mechanism. So as you see, we have a repeater going straight along like that. Pretty simple stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to lock the output. So we're going to activate this right now, and we're going to lock the repeater, as you see right here. It's going to have this little line on it. Now what that means is if we actually change the power right here, you see that doesn't change it anymore. It's now been locked by the other input. So if we disable it, now we are actually able to change it and it works again. And the same thing for if it is originally off and you lock it, it will be locked to be off until you unlock it, and then the circuit now works again. Now if you unlock it when it's powered, it'll actually update it to be powered. So now we're going to dabble into the world of comparators, but we're only going to talk about the very basic use of it. We're not going to be talking about how it can be interacted with other blocks, just redstone. So as you see right here, we are getting a power of 11 going into this comparator from this block right here. We have all the numbers listed up here. We have a power of 11 going input to, as you see right here, into the comparator. Now what the comparator does, rather than a repeater, it would output 15 again, it outputs what's going into it. So it'll actually output 11. And as you see right here, 11 is lit up, but the 12th one is not. So whatever input power is going in, it'll output the same. And we once again have this again with an input of 13 this time. So this is being inputted by 13 and it outputs 13 as well. And we're going to show you guys that you can actually have an input from the sides as well. So this mode right now, it's in comparison mode. So what it's going to do if I flick this lever right here, it's going to disable all the lights because the power that's coming in from the side, this one right here, is actually more powerful than the one from the redstone block. And so it won't actually enable any of the lights. Now alternatively, I'm going to activate this longer line right here. And as you see, it isn't affecting the original line. And that's basically because the original input of 13 is stronger than the new input on the side of 11. And once again, if I demonstrate this, I'm going to put in a 15 input right there. It's going to turn off because it's stronger. And that's basically what comparison mode is. So if that little thing in the center is off, it's comparison mode. If it's on, it's subtraction mode. So what it's going to do now is it's going to basically subtract the side value from the input value. So rather than comparing the two values and outputting the main one from the back of it, if it's stronger, what it's doing now is it's actually taking the side value, which is 15 in this case, and it's taking it away from 13, which is giving you -2. Now, it's actually not displaying anything because -2 cannot be displayed. So if we do this one on the side, it's going to show 2 because it's doing 13 right here minus 11, which is giving you 30 minus 2 is 2. If this was obviously comparison mode, it would just output what's going into it from the back, which would be obviously 13. But in this mode, the subtraction mode, it's showing you the difference between the two inputs. So now that we went over the very complex stuff, we're going to be going how redstone works vertically. So obviously redstone dust, as we previously said, it does work vertically, but redstone repeaters don't, as you see right here. It doesn't actually take the power from the redstone like that, it needs to go straight into it, and so it doesn't actually work. Now, slabs are very useful in regards to this, because it actually does take the redstone up from it, as you see right here. Boop, 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 and it goes all the way up. Perfect. As obviously, if there were no blocks, it would not work. These are not being connected right now. And also, this works with glowstone as well, as you see right here, which allows the input to go through. Now, one final thing I'm going to leave you guys with on this video is redstone torches. We're going to be going over these more in depth in one of the next videos I'm going to do, but you can actually use the torches as a 1x1 tower of an input, and as you can see, it's going through, and it basically works by turning off this bottom torch and then turn this other one on, which then obviously powers the redstone that turns the lamp on. Now when it's turned off, it essentially inverts that, so the bottom one's now on, the second one's now off, which then turns the lamp off. And so it really does show from the normal, step by step with the redstone to then the diagonal ones right there, to then straight up vertical with redstone torches. You can definitely choose which one you want to go for, but I personally like, if we work with a vertical, I like using redstone torches, but we're going to go more in depth with that in a future episode. But that's basically everything we wanted to cover today. From redstone to repeaters and comparators, as well as kind of dabbling into some types of input methods with levers and output methods with redstone lamps. But we will go more in depth with a lot of this stuff in future episodes. As I said before, this is very much the basic stuff, basically just how redstone works. Redstone repeaters are extending that signal for another 15 blocks. Comparators are basically outputting what's going into it, comparing with the other lines on the side of it, and subtracting the other lines on the side of it. But yeah, guys, if you do have any questions or anything like that, please do put them in the comments, and I'll try to get to every single one of you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.